Hey guys, welcome back to Tower of Fantasy. In today's video, we're going to be going through a beginner's guide for the game to get you pointed in the right direction for global launch. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is something that I see a lot of confusion about, and that is people calling the weapons by character names. I do this as well. Just know that in this game, you are mainly summoning for weapons, and you get the character as a skin when you get that weapon. Now, the skins do have a trait when you raise your bonding with them up that is only effective in PvE modes. There is a little thing tied into that, but the main thing that you are summoning for is weapons. However, myself and many other people will refer to those weapons by the character that they come with, because it's just easier to say the character than the weird weapon names that they have that are always too long to say. So that is the first thing, just to get you across the line, because a lot of people get confused with that. Next up, two key things for beginners are going to be the summon system and also the weapon combat system. Now, those are two very big topics, too big to put into a beginner's guide. I've done separate videos on both of those, so if you want to go deeper into the summon mechanics or deeper into the combat mechanics, I will have those two videos linked in the description, and you can jump in and go super deep into those. The next thing I want to jump into is basic movement. There's a couple basic movement tricks that are really going to help you when exploring the world. This is a game where you're going to follow the quest chain. There's going to be a lot of side quests and then a lot of exploring, collecting chests, collecting extra summons, which is nice, and all that stuff. So the first thing I want to look at is movement. So if we jump over here, you'll see that I am on this little mountain. So we do have a jetpack. You get your jetpack very early on, within like the first 10 to 15 minutes of gameplay. So the jetpack's nice because you can stand still and you can use it, and it can get you a bit of height. But you only want to do that when you really need it. If you're just trying to climb a basic wall like this, a lot of the time, or if your jetpack's on cooldown, because it does have a cooldown, what you can do is you can just run up to the wall. I like to jump to engage, or you can just walk up to the wall and you engage on the wall. Now, climbing up the walls normally is going to consume a lot of stamina, and you know, if you use all your stamina, you're just going to fall, and that's going to suck. So what you want to do instead is you want to run up to the wall, you want to engage in the wall, and then when you're ready, if we can find the... Hello, there it is. You want to engage on the wall. Now, to climb basically infinitely, you're going to press Control, which releases you from the wall. And then you're going to go spacebar bar to double jump. And then you're going to hit W to move forward and connect back with the wall. You can do this on your phone as well. You just got to press the detach button, double jump, and then forward. But basically, it's going to look like this. You're going to go Control, double jump, forward. Control, double jump, forward. And that is pretty much all it is. And you can jump up walls pretty much infinitely. You can see you do use a tiny bit of stamina, but if you do it more optimally and only lightly tap the W, you can pretty much go infinite climbing up the tallest building. So that is a really handy thing for exploring and getting around the world. The next thing is jetpack. When you're trying to cross large distances, the jetpack's going to be your friend combined with dodging. So here I'm going to jump off, I'm going to double jump, I'm going to dodge, and then I'm going to jetpack. Then I'm going to dodge, jetpack, dodge, jetpack, dodge, jetpack. And I can pretty safely assume you get the rest of it. We're going to dodge, jetpack. And that's the way you cover larger distances, but it also makes you move faster when you're flying as well. So that is the basic strategy for getting around in the air as well. Now, the other thing is, if you are just using your jetpack from a standing start, for instance here, and I use my jetpack, I can then go ahead and do that dodge glide, but because you haven't jumped yet, you've got your second jump, so you can actually still dodge, jump, and then dodge, and then get your jetpack back out. So you do have a second jump. Just keep in mind, if you are using your jetpack and you jump, it's going to give you a little boost, but it's going to drain like half of your stamina, so it's not the greatest thing to do. Now, if you do find yourself stuck in water, keep in mind you can activate your jetboard from the water, so just go ahead and equip your jetboard while you're in the water, and you can just hit your jetboard, and then you can get yourself out of water if you are stuck. So that is a very helpful tool if you are getting stuck in water. Just jump off the jetboard from the water and you're fine. Don't burn out your stamina and go ahead and drown yourself. Just get on that jetboard. On the topic of movement and getting around, the next thing I want to do is just look at the map here. Now, waypoints are going to be important. Whenever you see one of these waypoints, they're normally be grayed out if you haven't obtained them, like this one up the top here. If you go to them, you press F on them, you interact with them, and it is going to give you that waypoint so you can teleport to them. Now, there's something added that I want to show you guys over here on these towers. So these are the Omnium Tower, Omnium Beacon, whatever you want to call them. But at the top of these things, there is going to be a little robot, and and you've just got to speak to that robot whenever you get to a tower. You'll see that each of these zones has a tower. This one does here, and so on and so forth. And when you get to the top of those towers, if you click the robot, it's going to unveil the map. The first time I played through the game, I could not figure out why I'd progressed through most of the campaign and didn't have it. There's the little robot at the top of these towers, and you want to talk to him, and he will reveal the map like this. Otherwise, it'll all be blued out like this. On top of that, as we zoom into the map, you can see all these different little huts around the place. Now, these are going to be huts that have enemies that you can defeat and actually get some loot from them, normally going to be summons. And if they are grayed out, it means you've already defeated them and claimed the loot. If it's like this one here, blue, it means I can go ahead and claim that. Or if it's got half a bar under it, it means there's 2 rewards and you've claimed 1. So those huts are a good way to just know where you've sort of explored and missed, and you can go back and do that sort of stuff. Now, these ones flashing here, these are going to be like training facilities where you do a bunch of different mini games, and those are going to be the key things. If you see something like this down here, this is going to be a raid boss. So that's where the world bosses are located, and that's where you're going to go group up with friends and, you know, try and smack them to get some loot. And that pretty much covers the map in its basic essence. The next thing I want to talk about is your priorities inside the game when you log in each day. Now, in general, your main priority is going to be doing things that reset daily or things that have a cap first if you are near the cap. Reason being, if you don't do them, obviously it's going to be wasted stuff that you could do. So that is going to be your number 1 priority. I will go through those in a sec. Then it's following the campaign. Now, on your first day or two, your main priority is going to be following the campaign, because you need to do the campaign to unlock all these features. So early on, you really want to get that done, but then it becomes you want to do your daily stuff, followed by the campaign, followed by one-time stuff that you can do. So let's take a quick look. To follow the campaign is very easy. You just hit this up the top right. We've got the gold exclamation mark. Gold one is the main campaign. Purple is going to be dailies, and blue is going to be side quests. So when I talk about daily things that you want to do as your first priority, is going to be, first of all, if we go here to recommended, it's going to be your daily bounties. These are going to reset every day, so you want to do them every day. First thing, you're going to get a gold nucleus and 3 black nucleus from these. Very important, you're getting summons. Do these things, or they're also really good experience. Then you also, with this personal chef thing, you want to do this. You don't want this to cap to 3, because if it goes over 3, you're not going to get them back. So you really want to do this every time it's up. This refreshes 3 times a day. It gives you some good experience, also gives you a buff. Just 3 times a day, it'll be up, and you just grab it. That's very simple. Now, moving on past that, we can go to this section here. Now, this is our stamina-based system, and as you can see, we've got 180. I am capped. It's a bad thing to do, but this is another thing you definitely want to get done early. You can farm some gear and chips, or some upgrade materials, or some gold. Now, normally you're going to be farming gear and chips or upgrade materials, and that's going to be your main focus, but these, you do not want to overcap your stamina. You definitely want to go through and do these every day, or not every day, essentially. You just don't want this to overcap. Keep that in mind. Then we go on to here and we have the training. Now the training is something else that unlocks 2 of these training tasks every day. This one you can see we've got speed training, and we've got I believe that's a soccer game, and you want to do those every day. You only get 1 attempt at 2 of them each day, but you want to do them because you get this currency, which you can then go to the shop and you can buy these special gifts, which you can give to your simulacrums to unlock their passives. So those are the main things that you want to just log in and cap out every day, because they are daily things that reset. On top of that, you do want to work on your weeklies, but just playing the game will get you through these weeklies. This is not a big thing to complete. Just play the game and you'll be fine. So like I said, do those daily things, then follow the quest chain. Then you can start doing things like side missions. You can do, there's basically a lot of things. You can hunt chests, you can do whatever. Just keep in mind, if you are playing at the very launch of the game, there is going to be a quest cap on the main storyline, and there also is going to be a level cap. That's what we're basing it off of, the CN version and also the test version of the game. So if you notice that you are level capped, I believe it's level 18 from the test version. If you're level capped at level 18, you don't want to go opening all the chests around the place, because those chests give experience and you don't want to waste that experience. However, there are other things that you can do. For instance, if we go over here to something like the dandelions over there, you can see those. When you shoot those, you're going to they're going to detach and you can actually get summons from them. But those are not, because they're not the open chests, they don't actually give experience. So you can still feel free to do things like those. On top of that, there's things like the mushrooms that you can jump on. There's all these other little puzzles that you can get summons from around the place. For instance, the plants that you can, you know, throw a little robot into and you get a summon out of them. Those things that don't give experience, you can feel free to go around and do. But if you are level capped, just avoid opening the solid chests, because they do give some good experience. On the other hand, the green chests that you see around the place, feel free to go ahead and collect them, because they do spawn and keep randomly spawning. And if someone else on your server grabs them, they will be gone. So if you don't take it, you're just losing out essentially. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be the ruins. Now, these are these big spire things. They're going to be around the map. And you really, the key thing I want to talk about is the first 3 of them, because you really want to do them because those are going to be important for getting you into different puzzles and getting more summons and stuff like that. So you want to do all the ones on the initial map, because those are going to be important ones. There's going to be this one down here, this one which you force through in a tutorial, and this one over here. Reason being, you're going to get some very useful things from them. So if we go over here and we take a look at relics, the things we're going to get here, the first one's going to be the missile barrage, which is not too bad. It gets you a couple extra summons through rocks that you've got to blast. The other 2 are the strange cube and the omnium hand cannon. Now, the reason you want to get these 2 is that on the second island, there'll be some statues that you've got to blow like the ball off of the statue to get inside and get to a summon. So those are going to be very helpful for that. The omnium hand cannon is going to be another puzzle where you'll go around the place and you'll sometimes see 3 pillars, 2 or 3 pillars, and then there'll be a circle on the ground that has like a logo on it. And what you got to do is you got to shoot the omnium hand cannon at that, and it's going to raise a pillar, and then it's going to unlock a summon for you. So you really want to do those 2 on the first map before you like leave into the second zone, because you're going to need those 2 things to get all the summons around the second zone. Next up, I want to go into the character panel and just take a look at what we've got over there. So if we go over here and we take a look, we've got our weapons. Now, weapons are very simple. We've got different type of resonance effects that you can get. Basically, depending on the weapons you have equipped, you can get different benefits. So if you've got a tank, a DPS, and a healing weapon, you'll get these benefits, which are more balanced. If you've got double tanks, you get more aggro, you get less damage taken, and you shatter heavier. If you've got more 2 DPS, you're going to do higher damage. If you've got 2 healing weapons, you're going to do more healing. And they've got bigger effects in team play, but that is essentially what you're looking at. Now, with your weapons, SRs can be very useful at the start of the game. I wouldn't go much past level 50 with the SRs, because once you get to certain levels, you've got to use these consumables to augment them, and these become very scarce. So you really want to, you don't want to just be putting together every weapon that you find and leveling it up. Obviously, if you want to just to test it, like, it's up to you, but you really want to try and narrow down on the 3 weapons that you want to focus on early game and just level those ones up, because if you start spreading your resources, you'll find that you're going to struggle to level your main weapons up further. So don't spread yourself too thin on these weapons. Focus on a couple, and that's pretty much where you want to sit. Next up is the backpack. Now, when we go over here to equipment, we've got equipment that we can get. So I can equip this one. And what I want you to take note of is when we're enhancing here, there's 2 types of enhancing. There's advancement, which we can't do with the white gear, but there's this enhancing that consumes these little vials or whatever they're called. Don't be afraid to do these. Spread them out. Use these as soon as you get them. What these are doing is actually upgrading that equipment slot, not the equipment itself. So as soon as you get them, you can feel free to go ahead and upgrade those equipment slots. Because even if I swap the gear out, for instance, if I swap over to this pair of gloves, swap. You can see that it's swapped, but it's still level 3, because you can swap the gear, but it keeps the gear slot upgrade. As for actually upgrading gear itself, I would wait until you've got some better gear. But for the gear slots, definitely go ahead and upgrade those as soon as you can, because it's something that's going to remain with your account forever. So don't be afraid to go ahead and do those. And the last thing I want to look at is going to be the suppressor, because this one was a little bit confusing when I first got into it, but it's really simple. Basically upgrade it as soon as you can. You're going to need these crystals, and you're also going to have your character at a certain level, and then you can unlock it. Now a great way to get these is going to be from the ruins, but you can also get them in several other places. But you're going to want to get these because this is just straight buffs to your stats, and as you upgrade it, you're also going to get some SR chips, which early on the SR chips are actually quite nice. But once again, this is going to be level capped, but that's another reason to do those ruins, especially the early ones, is to get some of these and just give yourselves a straight stat buff. But that is just about everything that I really wanted to cover in this beginner's guide. It's, like I said, it's a fairly simple game. There's a bunch of exploration and there's a bunch of questing. You want to do all your daily stuff first, follow the main quest line, then go exploring and have some fun. And then when we get to end game, we can talk more about group play, PvP, raiding, and all that stuff. But if you are starting at day one, I wish you guys all the luck if you're rerolling. Wish you all luck with your summons, and I look forward to seeing you there. So thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.